In the history of sports, many have won titles, but only one became the greatest. Born Cassius Clay, he transformed into Muhammad Ali, a man whose reach extended far beyond the boxing ring. He was a poet with his fists and a warrior with his words. When he embraced Islam, he didn't just change his name, he changed his soul's direction, becoming a global voice for justice, peace, and human dignity. From the legendary rumble in the jungle to his courageous stand against war, his life was a masterclass in faith and resilience. Today, we look at the man who shook up the world, not just with his strength, but with his unwavering heart. This is the story of Muhammad Ali. Facts 1 to 20. Fact 1. The stolen bicycle and a new path. In 1954, in Louisville, Kentucky, a 12-year-old boy named Cassius Clay had his red bicycle stolen. Furious, he told a police officer named Joe Martin that he wanted to whoop the thief. Martin, who was also a boxing trainer, told the boy, "You better learn how to fight before you start challenging people." This moment sparked a fire that would never go out. From that day on, young Cassius dedicated himself to the gym. Even as a child, he showed a sense of discipline and modesty that set him apart. He was always seen in his long-sleeved school shirts and full-length trousers, a respectable young man who found a way to turn his anger into an art form that would one day change the world. By 1960, the young boxer's talent was undeniable. He traveled to the Rome Olympics, where he dazzled the world with his lightning-fast footwork and charismatic personality. He won the gold medal in the light heavyweight division, returning to America as a national hero. However, he soon realized that a gold medal didn't protect him from the systemic injustice of the time. Throughout the Olympic ceremonies and interviews, he was a model of athletic dignity. He wore his team's formal long-sleeved tracksuits and full trousers, providing complete coverage and reflecting the pride of a champion who believed that his true value was not in the medal around his neck, but in the character he displayed to the world. Fact 3. The butterfly and bee strategy. Muhammad Ali redefined the heavyweight division with a style that was thought impossible for a man of his size. He famously said he would float like a butterfly and sting like a bee. Instead of standing still and taking punches, he moved like a dancer, using his Ali shuffle to confuse opponents. His speed was his shield. During his training sessions and public demonstrations, he maintained a professional and modest appearance. He wore long-sleeved training sweaters and loose full-length sweatpants that ensured he was respectably covered. This discipline in his attire mirrored his discipline in the ring, proving that true power comes from a mind that is as fast and focused as the body it commands. Fact 4. Defeating the big, ugly bear Sonny Liston. In 1964, as a massive underdog, Ali faced the terrifying world champion Sonny Liston. Most critics thought Ali wouldn't last 3 rounds. Instead, he outclassed Liston with superior speed and confidence, forcing him to quit on his stool. At just 22 years old, he became the heavyweight champion of the world. He shouted to the cameras, "I shook up the world." After the victory, during the press conferences, he was a picture of sharp, modest elegance. He wore formal long-sleeved suits and full trousers, his attire fully covering his person and reflecting the serious, disciplined nature of a young king who had just proven that his self-belief was stronger than any opponent's fists. Fact 5. Embracing the truth, the transformation to Muhammad Ali. Shortly after winning the title, he made a life-changing announcement. He had embraced Islam. He left behind his slave name and became Muhammad Ali. He stated that Islam was the path of truth and peace that he had been searching for. This spiritual awakening gave him a deeper purpose beyond boxing. He began studying the Quran and the teachings of the faith with deep devotion. In his new life as a Muslim, he was even more committed to modesty. In all his public appearances and religious gatherings, he was seen in dignified, long-sleeved robes or suits, his attire reflecting his submission to God and his new identity as a servant of the Almighty. Fact 6. the stand against the draft. In 1967, at the peak of his career, Ali was drafted to fight in the Vietnam War. He refused to go, citing his religious beliefs as a Muslim and his opposition to the war. He famously said, "My conscience won't let me go." This stand cost him his boxing license, his title, and 4 years of his prime. He faced prison and hatred, but he never wavered. Throughout the legal battles and televised debates, he was a pillar of moral strength. He always appeared in modest, long-sleeved professional suits, his respectable and fully covered appearance emphasizing that his principles were not for sale and that his loyalty to his faith was higher than his career.
Fact 7. The Exile Years, a voice for justice. During the 3.5 years he was banned from boxing, Ali traveled to universities across America, speaking about civil rights, faith, and peace. He became a hero to the youth and the oppressed, proving that a champion's voice is his most powerful weapon. He supported himself through these lectures, never losing his dignity despite being stripped of his livelihood. During these speaking tours, he was always a model of professional modesty. He wore long-sleeved shirts and formal trousers, his attire providing full coverage as he stood before crowds, teaching them that true greatness is the courage to stand for what is right, even when the whole world is against you. Fact 8. The fight of the century against Joe Frazier. In 1971, Ali finally returned to the ring to face the undefeated Joe Frazier at Madison Square Garden. It was called the fight of the century. Although Ali lost a close decision, he showed the heart of a lion, rising from a devastating knockdown in the 15th round. He proved that even in defeat, a champion's spirit remains unbroken. After the grueling battle, during the post-fight interviews, he remained humble and dignified. He was seen in his modest, long-sleeved clothing, his person fully covered as he spoke with respect for his opponent, showing that his character was not defined by a scorecard, but by the resilience and grace he showed in the face of adversity. Fact 9. The Rumble in the Jungle. In 1974, Ali traveled to Zaire to face the younger, stronger, and undefeated George Foreman. No one thought Ali could win. He used his famous rope-a-dope strategy, leaning against the ropes and letting Foreman tire himself out before knocking him out in the 8th round. It was the greatest comeback in sports history. Throughout his time in Africa, Ali was embraced by the people as a brother. He was a model of modest leadership, always wearing long-sleeved traditional tunics or tracksuits that provided full coverage. He showed the world that a champion's mind can overcome any physical force, reclaiming his throne with intelligence, patience, and a deep connection to his heritage. Fact 10. The Thriller in Manila. In 1975, Ali faced Joe Frazier for the 3rd and final time in the Philippines. In the sweltering heat, the two legends fought a battle that pushed both men to the absolute edge of human endurance. Ali called it the closest thing to dying. He won when Frazier's corner stopped the fight before the 15th round. After the fight, Ali showed profound humility, praising Frazier as the greatest fighter in the world after himself. During the press events in Manila, Ali was a picture of professional modesty, dressed in long-sleeved shirts and full trousers. His attire reflected the dignity of a man who had conquered the greatest challenge of his life with respect and spiritual strength.
Fact 11. A global ambassador for peace. As his boxing career wound down, Ali's role as a global humanitarian grew. He used his fame to negotiate the release of hostages in the Middle East and to deliver food and medicine to the poor in Africa and Asia. He saw himself as a servant of humanity, guided by his Islamic faith. He believed that service to others is the rent you pay for your room here on earth. During these international missions, Ali was a model of modest grace. He always wore long-sleeved professional attire or modest robes, his fully covered appearance reflecting his deep respect for the cultures he visited and the sacred nature of the work he was doing for peace. Fact 12. The Battle with Parkinson's. In 1984, Ali was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. The man who was once the fastest and loudest in the world began to speak and move slowly. However, his spirit remained as loud as ever. He faced his illness with a courage that inspired millions, showing that strength is not just in the muscles, but in the endurance of the soul. He never hid from the public. During his many appearances at charity events and foundations, he was always a figure of absolute dignity. He was dressed in modest, long-sleeved suits and full trousers, his attire ensuring he was respectably covered as he showed the world that a champion's light never fades, even in the face of physical weakness. Fact 13. Lighting the Olympic flame in Atlanta. In 1996, at the Atlanta Olympics, the world watched in tears as a trembling Muhammad Ali stepped forward to light the Olympic cauldron. It was a moment of ultimate triumph over his illness and a symbol of his enduring legacy. The entire world stood in silence and respect for the greatest. Ali stood tall, a model of perseverance. He was dressed in a modest, long-sleeved white tracksuit that provided full coverage. This moment was a testament to his life. A man who had been stripped of his title and insulted by many now stood as the most beloved figure in global sports, shining his light for all to see. Fact 14. Messenger of Peace for the UN. In 1998, Muhammad Ali was named a UN Messenger of Peace. He traveled to conflict zones and poverty-stricken regions, bringing a message of hope, unity, and nonviolence. He believed that his faith required him to be a bridge between different peoples. He worked tirelessly to promote understanding between the Islamic world and the West. In these high-level diplomatic settings, Ali was always a picture of professional modesty. He wore formal, long-sleeved suits and full trousers, his attire fully covering his person and reflecting the serious, disciplined nature of his mission to heal a divided world through love and faith. Fact 15. The Presidential Medal of Freedom. In 2005, Muhammad Ali was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom, the highest civilian honor in the United States. It was a formal recognition of his lifetime of struggle for justice and his impact on global culture. The man who had once been a rebel was now celebrated as a national treasure. During the ceremony at the White House, Ali was a model of quiet dignity. He was dressed in a formal, modest, long-sleeved suit, his attire providing full coverage and reflecting the prestige of the moment. He showed that by staying true to his faith and his conscience, he had forced the world to change, not him. Fact 16. The Muhammad Ali Center. Ali wanted to ensure that his values lived on long after him. He helped found the Muhammad Ali Center in his hometown of Louisville. The center is dedicated to his 6 core principles: confidence, conviction, dedication, giving, respect, and spirituality. It serves as a beacon for those who want to make a difference in the world. Ali visited the center frequently, greeting visitors with his silent but powerful presence. On these occasions, he was always seen in modest, long-sleeved clothing, his appearance emphasizing that his legacy was not about his boxing records, but about the character and the modest, disciplined life he had built on the foundation of his faith. Fact 17. His love for children and the poor. Despite his fame, Ali was most at home among the common people. He was famous for spending hours signing autographs and doing magic tricks for children, regardless of their background. He often gave away large sums of money to strangers in need, following the Islamic principle of zakat and sadaqah. He believed that he was no better than anyone else. During his many visits to orphanages and soup kitchens, Ali was a model of humble modesty. He wore modest, long-sleeved shirts and full trousers, his fully covered appearance reflecting his focus on the people he was serving rather than his own celebrity, proving that true greatness is found in a heart of service. Fact 18. A bridge between cultures.
Ali was a global figure who was as much a hero in the streets of Lagos and Cairo as he was in Chicago. He used his identity as a Black American Muslim to show the world that faith and justice have no borders. He was a symbol of dignity for millions in the Islamic world who saw him as a defender of their values. In his many international interviews and travels, Ali was always a picture of modest grace. He wore long-sleeved traditional robes or suits, acting as a living bridge that connected different cultures through his shared humanity and his unwavering commitment to a modest and disciplined life of faith.
Fact 19. The final journey. In his final years, Ali became more private, spending his time in prayer and with his family. He was a man who had seen everything and conquered the world, yet he remained humble before God. He was a man at peace with his legacy, knowing that he had fought the good fight both in and out of the ring. During this private time, he was cared for with the utmost respect. He was always kept in modest, long-sleeved clothing that ensured he was fully covered, maintaining his personal dignity and the respectable image he had built over a lifetime of devotion to his faith and his principles. Fact 20. The Great Departure. On June 3, 2016, Muhammad Ali passed away at the age of 74. The entire world paused to mourn a man who was truly one of a kind. His funeral in Louisville was a massive multi-faith event that reflected his global reach. Millions of people, dressed in their dark, modest robes and suits, gathered to pay their respects to the greatest. He was laid to rest as he lived, with dignity, surrounded by the prayers of the faithful. He remains an eternal symbol of courage, a modest figure in long-sleeved attire who proved that with faith and discipline, a single man can truly change the course of history and the hearts of millions. Fact 22. The Poet of the People. Muhammad Ali was not just a boxer, he was a master of the spoken word. His rhymes and predictions were more than just trash talk, they were a form of psychological art. He used his poetry to uplift his community and challenge his oppressors. He could charm a room with a single sentence. In his many television appearances and poetry readings, Ali was always a symbol of sharp professional modesty. He wore formal, long-sleeved suits and full trousers, his attire fully covering his person, while his voice filled the air with messages of strength and self-respect, proving that a true champion's wit is as sharp as his jab. Fact 24. The double-end bag speed. Ali's speed was legendary, and it was built through thousands of hours of disciplined training. His ability to hit the double-end bag, a small, fast-moving ball, was faster than any heavyweight in history. He trained with a focus that bordered on the spiritual. During these intense gym sessions, he maintained his personal code of modesty. He was always seen in long-sleeved training shirts and full-length sweatpants, ensuring he was respectably covered even while sweating. This discipline in his training gear reflected his internal control, showing that a master of the ring must first be a master of his own habits and presentation. Fact 23. The 1960 Gold Medal Mystery. Legend has it that after returning from the Rome Olympics, Ali was refused service in a restaurant because of his race. In a moment of deep hurt and protest, he reportedly threw his Olympic gold medal into the Ohio River. This act was a powerful symbol of his refusal to accept second-class citizenship. Whether literal or symbolic, it marked his transition from an athlete to a social revolutionary. Even in those moments of deep frustration, he carried himself with the dignity of a leader. He was seen in his modest, long-sleeved attire, standing by the river as a man who valued his human rights more than a piece of gold. Fact 24. Meeting Malcolm X. The friendship between Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X was one of the most significant alliances of the 20th century. Malcolm taught Ali the importance of global black identity and the deeper meanings of faith and self-reliance. Their bond was built on mutual respect and a shared vision for justice. During their public walks and private meetings, Ali was always a student of wisdom. He was dressed in formal, long-sleeved professional suits, his modest and fully covered appearance reflecting the serious nature of the revolutionary ideas they were discussing, ideas that would eventually shape Ali's global mission for peace and human dignity. Fact 25. The first to reclaim the title twice. In 1978, after losing to Leon Spinks, Ali did what no heavyweight had ever done. He won the world heavyweight title for a third time. He proved that age and setbacks could not stop a mind fueled by conviction. He became the undisputed king of the ring once again. After this historic victory, he was the center of global attention. During his victory speeches, he was a picture of professional modesty, dressed in high-quality, long-sleeved business suits. His attire symbolized the prestige of his achievement and his commitment to presenting himself as a dignified representative of his faith and his people to the entire world. Fact 26. His pilgrimage to Mecca, Hajj. One of the most profound moments in Ali's life was his journey to Mecca for the Hajj pilgrimage. He spoke of the overwhelming sense of equality he felt, seeing millions of people of all colors dressed in the same simple cloth, standing before God as equals. This experience deeply softened his heart and broadened his global vision. After his return, his commitment to modesty and service grew even stronger. In his daily life, he was almost always seen in modest, long-sleeved clothing, his appearance reflecting the peace he found in his faith and his desire to live as a humble servant of the Almighty.
Fact 27. Negotiating in Iraq. In 1990, just before the Gulf War, Muhammad Ali traveled to Iraq against the wishes of the U.S. government to negotiate the release of 15 American hostages. Despite his worsening Parkinson's, he sat for hours waiting to meet with leadership. His presence alone was enough to secure their freedom. He brought those men home to their families. During this high-stakes mission, Ali was a model of diplomatic modesty. He wore formal, long-sleeved suits and full trousers, his fully covered appearance reflecting the weight of his mission and the respect he commanded as a global figure of peace and Islamic brotherhood. Fact 28. The Ali Shuffle as a mental weapon. The Ali Shuffle, a rapid-fire foot movement, was more than just a show. It was a way to disrupt an opponent's timing and confidence. It was psychological warfare at its finest. He used his body as an instrument of deception and grace. In his training videos where he demonstrated this move, he was a model of professional focus. He wore long-sleeved sweaters and loose, full-length trousers, ensuring he was respectably covered. He showed that true brilliance in any craft is built on a foundation of discipline, showing that one can be the most flamboyant performer while still maintaining a modest and respectful personal character. Fact 29. His support for the Palestinian cause. Throughout his life, Muhammad Ali was a vocal supporter of the rights of people in Palestine and other oppressed regions. He visited refugee camps and used his platform to bring attention to their suffering. He believed that his faith required him to speak for those who had no voice. During these visits, he was embraced as a hero of the people. He was always seen in modest, long-sleeved attire, his appearance reflecting his solidarity with the poor and the struggling. He proved that a champion's heart must be large enough to hold the struggles of people thousands of miles away. Fact 30. The magic of the greatest. Ali was famous for his magic tricks, which he used to break the ice with children and strangers. He loved the look of wonder on a child's face. For him, magic was a way to communicate without words, especially as his illness made speaking more difficult. It was his way of spreading joy. During these informal moments in parks or hospitals, Ali was a picture of humble modesty. He wore modest, long-sleeved shirts and full trousers, his fully covered appearance ensuring that the focus remained on the connection he was making with people, proving that true power is the ability to make others smile.
Fact 31. The philosophy of giving back. Ali often said, "He who was not courageous enough to take risks will accomplish nothing in life." He applied this to his charity work, often giving away his last dollar to someone in need. He followed the Islamic teaching that wealth is a trust from God to be used for the benefit of others. During his many appearances at fundraising galas, he was a figure of absolute dignity. He was dressed in formal, modest, long-sleeved suits, his attire providing full coverage and reflecting the serious, disciplined nature of his commitment to philanthropy and his role as a provider for the less fortunate. Fact 32. His impact on global music and culture. Many historians credit Muhammad Ali as one of the godfathers of hip-hop because of his rhythmic rhyming and his confident, poetic delivery. He influenced generations of artists to speak their truth and stand for their beliefs. He was a cultural icon whose influence reached far beyond sports. In his interviews with music and art magazines, Ali was a model of professional grace. He wore modest, long-sleeved clothing, his appearance symbolizing the bridge between traditional discipline and modern artistic expression, showing that one can be the coolest person on earth while still being a humble and modest servant of God. Fact 33. Standing against religious extremism. In his later years, Ali was a powerful voice against the distortion of his faith. He spoke out clearly, stating that Islam is a religion of peace. It does not promote terrorism or killing people. He was a defender of the true, compassionate heart of his religion. During these critical public statements, Ali was a figure of profound moral authority. He was always seen in formal, modest, long-sleeved suits, his attire reflecting the peace and order he advocated for, proving that a true believer is a guardian of the faith's reputation through both his words and his dignified, modest conduct. Fact 34. The Olympic spirit of 2012. One of his last major public appearances was at the 2012 London Olympics. Though he was very frail, his presence electrified the stadium. He stood as a symbol of the global human spirit, unbroken by time, politics, or disease. The world saw a man who had conquered every shadow. On this global stage, Ali was a model of quiet dignity. He was dressed in a modest, long-sleeved dark suit and full trousers, ensuring he was respectably covered as he received the love of millions. He showed that a champion's presence is felt not in his strength, but in the respect he has earned through a lifetime of sacrifice. Fact 35. His dedication to prayer. Throughout his life, even at the height of his fame, Ali was dedicated to his 5 daily prayers. Those close to him noted that he found his greatest strength and peace while prostrating before God. He believed that his success was a gift and a test from the Almighty. This inner spiritual life was the source of his outward modesty. In his private prayer room, he was a humble servant, always seen in modest, long-sleeved robes or shirts, ensuring he was respectably covered as he sought guidance from his Creator, showing that the greatest on earth was the humblest in the presence of God. Fact 36. A father's love and discipline. Ali was a devoted father who raised his children with a mixture of immense love and strict discipline. He taught them the importance of modesty, hard work, and faith. He wanted them to be known for their character, not just their famous name. He was their protector and their hero. During his time at home with his children, Ali was a figure of humble authority. He was always seen in modest, long-sleeved clothing, his appearance emphasizing the importance of respect and decorum within the family, proving that the greatest on earth was the humblest in the presence of God. Fact 37. The final preparation. As he approached his final days, Ali spoke often of his readiness to return to God. He had lived a life of incredible highs and deep sacrifices, and he was at peace. He had spent his life preparing for his final round, the meeting with his Creator. He was surrounded by the love of his family and the prayers of the Ummah. During this quiet time, he was cared for with the highest level of dignity. He was always kept in modest, long-sleeved clothing, ensuring he was fully covered, maintaining the respectable and disciplined image he had carried through 74 years of a historic life. Fact 38. The global funeral in Louisville. Muhammad Ali's funeral in 2016 was attended by world leaders, celebrities, and thousands of ordinary people. It was a beautiful, multi-faith celebration of a life that belonged to the whole world. The procession through the streets of Louisville was lined with people throwing flowers and chanting his name. It was a final victory lap. The dignity of the ceremony, with thousands dressed in respectful, long-sleeved robes and suits, was a final tribute to the man who had elevated the reputation of his faith and his nation, showing that a life lived for others is a life that never truly ends. Fact 39. The eternal symbol of resistance. Today, Muhammad Ali remains the ultimate symbol of the athlete-activist. He proved that an athlete can change the world by standing for his principles. His name is synonymous with courage, faith, and the fight for justice. Every time a young athlete speaks out against injustice, they are walking in the footsteps of Ali. His image, a modest figure in a long-sleeved suit speaking truth to power, remains the gold standard for leadership. He turned his life into a masterpiece of conviction, proving that the greatest power on earth is a soul that refuses to be bought or broken. Fact 40. The King of Hearts. Muhammad Ali was the man who shook up the world and then healed it with his love. He was a warrior in the ring and a man of peace in the world. He lived a life of profound modesty, fierce innovation, and unyielding faith. As we look at the legacy he left behind, we see the fingerprints of a Daho, genius, who understood that true greatness is found in the service of God and humanity. He will forever be the greatest, a modest figure in long-sleeved attire, standing at the summit of history, reminding us that with faith and discipline, even the humblest boy from Louisville can become the king of the world.